Hi, I'm Chef Bob Wagner from You Cook with Chef Bob. We find ourselves in the month of October now, and guess what? It's Halloween. We're not calling it Halloween though, because it's Reserve Chardonnay month of yellowtail wine, so we're calling it Halloween month. Today I've got some amazing, I'm in Folly Beach, South Carolina, if you can imagine, the place where you can find the most amazing shrimp in the United States. These guys I've actually peeled and deveined. All I've done is take the peel off the outside of them, run a little knife along the back there, and these guys are ready to go. I've got just a little bit of lemon zest that I've just pulled a little lemon zest off with a peeler. I've got some roasted garlic that I've actually baked in the oven for about a half an hour at 320 degrees, and some olive oil, so it's lost all that harsh garlic flavor. Sun-dried tomatoes, because we are in the month of October, so we're not going to find fresh tomatoes, but I still want that wonderful, really strong tomato flavor. So we've got some sun-dried tomatoes, some shallots that I've just run a knife through, peeled, and just slivered up. Some pecorino cheese rather than the Parmesan that you use a lot of time. We're throwing a little French in there, some picciolini olives that we've got there, some green olives. All I've done is just cut little quarters around the outside of the pit on the olives, because nobody wants to play with the pit inside an olive when you're eating pasta. Some pine nuts that I've roasted just in the oven, just honestly, just for a tiny bit, for pretty much at the same time that I did with these guys, but it takes about 15 minutes. Just keep an eye when they start turning brown, pull them out. And then some fusilli pasta, that's fun stuff, some really good olive oil, a little bit of heavy cream, because now we're in the winter months, I'm not so worried about my fat anymore. We need something to keep us through the winter. And then we've got a little bit of green and yellow zucchini that I've just literally just chopped up, cut into little quarters, and actually some really fresh sort of live basil we're going to cut off here, and let's get started. Actually, and also I've got some salt and fresh ground white pepper, and then of course we're showcasing the Reserve Chardonnay. That's an amazing, really crisp and clean white wine that I want with this, and we're going to make our sauce with it today. So fun stuff. So you've got all your mise en place, so all the little goodies ready. You've got your shrimp, your pasta, your cheese, your olives, all the fun stuff is ready to go. And as you can see, people complain and say, yeah, but you've got a big fancy kitchen, Bob. Look at my kitchen. Does it get fancier than that? No, it doesn't. So, anything you can do on the Super Mac Daddy Viking range, you can do on Susie Homemaker's kitchen also. So we've got a big pan, because we're going to make it for just a couple people on this one. We're going to start out, we're going to season our shrimp, salt and pepper our shrimp, fresh ground white pepper, a couple tablespoons of olive oil in there, and the goal is to not overcook the shrimp. So these guys in. And you're going to say, yeah, but you know how to flip them, you know how to do the fancy. Well, let's not flip them, let's just turn them over like that. So you can do this too. Too bad you can't smell that, because all that wonderful flavor's in there. Now we're going to get them out, and you're thinking, Bob, those aren't even close to being cooked. And you're right. So what we're going to do now is toss in a shallot. Anything we can get a sear on is going to have a lot better flavor. Leave that for just 1 second. Just get a little brownness on these guys. Now before that gets too brown, we're going to toss in our zucchini. Same thing, if we can get a little brownness on those. Everything gets seasoned separately, so we're going to salt and pepper these guys. You can see while those guys are searing, let me show you our shrimp. See how they're still translucent, still very raw, but just getting that little sear. See that pinkness on that side? It's so much flavor in that olive oil. It's giving a lot of flavor to the sauce, and we're going to finish cooking them in the sauce. These guys, we're just going to get a quick sear. You can see all that olive oil is pretty much kind of absorbed up. Still good stuff though. And we don't want to cook these too much. We don't want overcooked vegetables. We just want a nice brownness to them. We're going to put these guys in with our shrimp. Put this guy back on the flame before any of that browns, and we're going to take our Yellowtail Reserve Chardonnay and deglaze that pan. Probably about 2 cups of wine. And also there's a bonus, if you want to, you can also figure about 2 cups for the pot, 1 cup for you. So we're going to reduce this down, cook out most of the alcohol, but basically reduce it down so it'll accept the cream to the base to our sauce. And we want to reduce it down just so it's not too thin, so the sauce isn't too thin. So there you go, our probably 2 cups of wine have reduced down to about probably a 1/4 cup, something like that. We're going to add our heavy cream. Let that reduce down. Give that a little whisk. Chuck it right in there. Let that go. That's going to take a couple minutes, so we're going to throw our pasta in. Not all this pasta, because we only got a couple people. Let that wander around in there. Very salted water. Let that boil in the background. And as this is cooking down, we're going to add our sun-dried tomatoes, because this is actually going to help thicken our sauce. So we want to get those guys in early to try and get an idea where we're going to be. And it's actually going to add a little bit, even see a little bit of that oil. It's not bad stuff. It's just going to add some color and a ton of flavor. The garlic also, we're going to add our roasted garlic in there. And you're thinking, good Lord, is that a lot of garlic? But once you've roasted it, once you've baked it in the oven like that, and gotten to the point, people say, well, how do you know it's ready? When you can cut through it or actually just squeeze it, and you can see when it just turns to mush, it's lost all that really harsh garlic flavor. So you can throw it. You know what the heck, let's throw it all in there. You're thinking Halloween, you're thinking of going out, getting something with the kids. That's what I love about this recipe, is you can get this much done. You can have all this stuff ready, then just sear up your shrimp, throw them in the sauce, a little bit of pasta, and away you go. Now with this, we're not going to add a ton. Our pine nuts in there too. We're not going to add a ton of salt, because sun-dried tomatoes, a lot of times they'll add a good amount of salt, so you want to be careful with that. The pecorino cheese is also going to have some salt, so all we're going to add is some pepper to this. And we're going to add it right now, where it's pretty much where it wants to be as a sauce. So we're not going to add any more salt. And the picciolini olives also have salt in them, so we're going to be careful with that. But it's all good. The zucchini doesn't have any. Along with it, I've actually sliced up the lemon zest, just slivered some of that we're going to put this in just a tiny bit at the end. It's all about acidity. We're not going to add any lemon juice, but a little bit of lemon zest like that will bring up, kind of wake up that yellowtail Chardonnay Reserve. And you're still wondering about those shrimp, I know it, wondering what are we going to do with those shrimp, Mom? But they're going to cook at the last second. Alright, so there you can see our sauce is reduced down. Look at those sun-dried tomatoes, giving a nice little pink hue. We've got our all the other good things we've got in there: our olives, our sun-drieds, our shallots, our pine nuts have all given their all. Our white wine, our Chardonnay, is giving its all, reducing down to where it wants. Our pasta, let's give it a try here. See how he's doing. Your friend and mine, al dente, as it should be. So I'm going to pull that off. Let me pass my pasta real quick. Alright, so we've got our pasta. Here we go. Just passed through. Just cooked the way it should be. Put this guy back here. That guy in there. Give this a little toss. And now, just to finish cooking all this fun stuff, we're going to finish our shrimp. Yep. Our zucchini. We're going to toss our chiffonade basil that we call it, which is actually just julienne a little bit. We'll leave some for garnish on top. And then our chunks of pasta, our chunks of cheese that we're going to fine throughout a little bit later on. But we're going to leave that for honestly, just a minute. Just enough time for the pasta to absorb a little bit. And just enough time for those shrimp. Maybe a little bit of pepper. One of those things you just taste as you go. See, there you go. There's your pasta. Obviously enough for a beach party here at Folly Beach like I'm doing with wild American shrimp. Doesn't get any better than that. There you go. Halloween at its best. Fusilli pasta, wild American shrimp, sun-dried tomatoes, olives, pine nuts, shallots, all the good stuff, even a little pecorino cheese. But to really top it off and make it really fun and even sexier, some Yellowtail Reserve Chardonnay. Doesn't get any better than that. Bon appetit.